Welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad you are here. And I'm going to give it up to our Master of Ceremonies, the guy who will be leading us through today's events. Please welcome Mr. Aklilu Demessie.
Thank you so very much. Let me get my glasses first. Actually, the Master of Ceremony is going to be Scott Embacher himself, but I'll try to welcome you. First and foremost, grace be to God for giving us this day to celebrate. Your Excellency Ambassador Fulsum Araka, all the Ethiopian Embassy representatives, the Honorable Mayor Jackson, Frank Jackson, and officials of the City Council, distinguished and invited guests. The Global Cleveland, special guest from Ethiopia, artist Darion Yetengeta, who, when the unveiling ceremony occurs, you will see his work. Artist Ernesto Spinelli, who actually built the mosaic. Officials of the Cultural Garden Federation, members of the Menelik Hall Foundation Cultural Garden Core and Supporting Committee, and ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Ethiopians in Cleveland in particular, and from all over in general, as well as on behalf of the Ethiopian Cultural Garden Committee, I would like to extend my sincere welcome and thanks to each and every one of you for being here this afternoon to celebrate the unveiling of the first ever African garden in the world here in Cleveland. The Ethiopian Cultural Garden, and thank you for choosing to come to Cleveland to spend your time with us and in our lovely city. In turn, Cleveland welcomes all of you to her hearts with all the warmth and fervor which it accords to the homecoming of her own sons and daughters. My special thanks to Dr. Carl Robson, supported by his lovely wife, Sister Sanait Robson. Thank you. For his vision, patience, leadership, and sacrifices to make today a reality. I also would like to thank the donors of many donors for their financial support and encouragement. I wish I could name them all, but we thank you, all of you, from the bottom of our heart, and you know who you are, and some of them don't want to be recognized. The Ethiopian Cultural Garden is a tribute to the rich history and diversity of Ethiopia and to America for the opportunities it has opened to the Ethiopians and other immigrant communities. It's also meant to symbolize hope from Ethiopia to the world community, from the commonality of African roots and the desires of people for peace and this fragile planet, and to the future of the world: peace, freedom, equality, justice, and environmental preservation. We hope that your experience in participating in the first phase of this unveiling ceremony of the Ethiopian Cultural Garden, unique in the world as of today, is so marked with joy and success that you'll immediately begin making plans for return visit for phase 2 and 3 as well. Stay tuned. This is a great milestone for our community and a great symbol for our city as a welcoming and inclusive city. You will hear more from others, and I need not go into much detail in here. Before I close, though, I would like to remind all of you that at the conclusion of this ceremony, that the ambassador will be addressing the Ethiopian community at Margaret Wang's office at 4 p.m. It's at 3150 Chester Avenue, and you are all welcome. And Miss Margaret Wang has a special gift to those who will be coming to attend. All other guests and actually the ceremony is still Ethiopia, not immigration. All other guests, listen here, can go to a reception at Impress Aitu restaurant immediately after the ceremony, because the ambassador most probably will be speaking Amharic. We don't want you to go there and get bored by not understanding. Those of you who do speak and understand the language, you can come and attend. So about 6 o'clock, everybody from Margaret Wang's office will come to Impressed I2 restaurant, and then you'll meet and mix with the ambassador and the many consulars and consular generals and diplomats, and you can intermingle and talk. We are happy that all of you are here. Without further ado, I invite Mr. Scott Embacher, the able, industrious, efficient, and tactful principal of St. Francis Cleveland School and member of the core committee of Ethiopian Cultural Garden, to be the MC, and he will recognize and invite guests to make brief remarks and facilitate the rest of the program, and relieving me from the duty of an MC. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Aklilu. First of all, there's one more seat up here. Ernie, you've been here since January when your hands were like frozen. Can you please come up here and take this empty seat for us, all right? Thank you. Okay, first of all, you took all your pictures like before. In about an hour, your picture's gonna be way better because you're gonna actually get to see the monument. On behalf of the Menelik Hall Foundation and the Ethiopian Culture Garden Committee, I would like to welcome all of our honored guests, some of which you will hear speak soon in a few minutes, as well as to all those who helped make the Ethiopian Garden a reality, such as our landscape architect, Heidi O'Neill, our construction guy, Tom Krivis, Mina Azrat, and many others who you'll hear from today. But I would also like to recognize you. Without you, coming to our reverse raffles, coming to our speakers, One World Day, visiting our GoFundMe site, without your support, we would not be here sitting today. So can you please give yourselves a round of applause? I can remember speaking at a Culture Garden Federation meeting about 6 years ago, telling about our plans of an Ethiopian culture garden and how we Ethiopians were the discoverers of humankind, the forefront of ancient civilizations, and for some people, most importantly, the birthplace of coffee. And I was so proud, you know it, and I was so proud to stand up and represent a country I am honored to embrace as one of my own, just as much as they have embraced me. And now we've come full circle to dedicate today the Ethiopian Culture Garden, the first culture garden from the continent of Africa, and the Cultural Garden's 103-year history. Yeah, that deserves applause. But you know why I've been so passionate about this garden? It's because of my two sons, Fasika and Tariku. Guys, can you come over here for a second? Just real quick. Just real quick. These are my sons. Come on up real quick. Thank you. How about you guys? So I'm passionate about this because when my sons now, when we drive down the 30-plus gardens on MLK, I don't have to imagine a world where they look at me and say, Dad, how about Ethiopia? Why aren't we represented? Instead, today, and 50 years from now, when they drive by the Ethiopian Culture Garden, and they'll beam with pride as the gardens remind them of the beautiful country where they were born. And they can be proud of their Ethiopian heritage, saying, that is where I was born. See, this garden, it's not just about us sitting here today, but it will celebrate Ethiopian American culture for our kids and grandkids, and a legacy that outlives us all. And today, we are here to celebrate. Thank you, boys. Go ahead. So first on our list of honored speakers are Dr. Khoury, President of Culture Gardens, alongside Lori Ashyk, the Executive Director of the Culture Gardens.
First of all, a big congratulations for the Ethiopian community in Cleveland. Thank you for all the work and for all the efforts and dedication that you did. Ethiopia is the land of the first human being. I'm sure many of you are aware. And it can't be any more delightful that that representation is in Cleveland, Ohio now, bringing its culture, its energy, its passion and its coffee to Cleveland, Ohio. Thank you, the mayor, City of Cleveland, Mr. Jackson. He's been a great leader in the city. Thank you for the ambassador of Ethiopia in Washington, D.C. It's an honor to have you here. And the general counsel, it's an honor to have you here. And all the dignitaries in the audience today. The history of this area goes back to 103 years when John D. Rockefeller donated it to the city to be cultural representation of the different ethnic communities at that time, over 100 years ago in Cleveland. And the early pioneers, mostly Europeans, they followed through. They built beautiful gardens and put beautiful monuments representing their cultural heritage and people who they're proud of in their history. And this area has grown. Cleveland now has over 150 communities from all over the world. The mosaic of Cleveland is wonderful. You can go to the streets and to different neighborhoods and see the mosaic from all over the world. And we're trying to raise the international profile of Cleveland in this area. And this is the wave of the future. So added to all these factors, having the first African garden in this area is a huge historic event for us here. So congratulations again, and I'm sure it's going to carry your mission, your passion for the future generations. Back to the Federation has been the custodian of these gardens for over 100 years. And it took generations of volunteers to carry on the mission in dedication with very regimented approach to keeping this garden growing, keep them beautiful, expanding them, taking care of them over these years. And when we had the anniversary of the centennial anniversary about 3 years ago, we wanted to move even forward and build up a major outdoor stage in this area. You can see it about half a mile down the street from here. The plaza, the Centennial Peace Plaza. That will be the gathering place for people of the world to show off their arts, music, dancing, poetry, education, and have people from all around Cleveland come and learn about these nationalities and their histories and these countries. So there is a lot of work to do. We're grateful to the city of Cleveland that expanded the availability of lots with 16 new lots. So people from Asia, from Africa, from Latin America can join in now and have their representations here. So I want to salute the generations of volunteers in the Federation and the current leadership in the Federation. I think we have here two vice presidents, Paul Bury and Tom Turkley. Anybody else from the Federation board? Ashyk Data is here. Dan Hanson, our great board member. Ashyk is development director. Pierre Bejani, the Syrian, the Lebanese representative here. And our executive director, Ms. Lori Ashyk, who's the first executive director of the Federation in 103 years. So we have a professional staff and we're growing, and we want you to put more energy and more passion in this place. Enjoy it for future generations. Thank you very much.
Well, and thank you, Scott, and all of the members of the Ethiopian Garden for inviting me here today and for inviting all of us here today. On behalf of the Federation, I want to thank Mr. Ambassador, Mr. Consul General, Mayor Jackson, and everyone here who came to celebrate with the garden. Congratulations to the members of the Ethiopian Cultural Garden, to Aklilu, to Scott, to Carl, and to everyone who made this dream a reality. I know it's been a lot of hard work these last 6 years, and to coordinate the design, to work with your artists to do the fundraising, And to have this mosaic, this beautiful mosaic wall installed here is a testament to your creativity and your perseverance. For every garden that accomplishes these things, it's a very, very great achievement, and it is no less so for you. It's a great honor to have this garden, the first African country to be represented here in the Culture Gardens. To have this garden, yes. To have this garden is really, really extraordinary. And to celebrate with the growing Ethiopian community here in Northeast Ohio is even better. I know this is just phase one, and that you have great plans for additional installations. I've seen some of the pictures, they're really beautiful. And I wish you the very best of luck for your future endeavors. But for now, enjoy today, and congratulations again.